Hey everyone, my name is Nadine, and if you're new here, welcome. You probably are all new here because I ain't been on YouTube in a minute. I've got a couple of weeks to make a few outfits for our upcoming holiday. Get the words out, girl, get the words out. I'm on a very tight budget, so I thought, why not make my stuff and bring you guys along with me? Today, I'll be copying these Primark shorts. They're actually pajamas, but I thought, because we're going somewhere very, very hot, these will be perfect. So I'm going to copy them in this material that I've had for ages, and I'm gonna make like an asymmetric tube top. So let's get into it. For this project, you're going to need some thread, some elastic, a pair of scissors, measuring tape, the pair of shorts that you are copying from, and some material. You will also need a pencil and some paper. I use pattern paper because I have it, but you can work with whatever you've got and tape it together. To start, we're going to turn our shorts inside out. It just makes it easier when copying the items to work with the seams. Once you have turned it inside out, you're going to fold it in half. What you will notice is the front is shorter than the back. So we're going to copy the front and then we're going to copy the back. When doing this, it can feel a bit tricky, but if you just take your time, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can neaten it up after with the same pencil or maybe using a thicker pen or felt tip. I turned the pattern around so you could get a better look, but I think it would have worked either way. I added a 1/2 inch seam allowance as well as adding an inch to the bottom of the shorts. I do think I should have added maybe about 2 inches to the top, because then I would have included the elastic encasing straight away, but it works either way. But just a heads up for you, add 2 inches to the top. I did the same for the back pattern, adding the seam allowance as well as the 1 inch for the hem of the shorts. But as I mentioned before, I should have added the 2 inches to the top also. Now we have our patterns ready. We are going to cut out the material and get ready to stitch it all together. The material that I'm working on for these projects have been folded away for a long time, so you can see the creases. I like working with ironed material. It just makes it a lot easier when cutting and working with the material. So I just use my fabric weights to hold down the patterns, and I'm cutting them both out. This is an opportunity where I could have corrected my error, but it's okay. I know for the next pair I'm going to make. So even though the back and the front is shorter, I like to create a marking on either the front or the back just to further differentiate them. Now that we have our pattern pieces ready, we're just going to clip them together, working on the front and the back separately. My overlocker to serge both the crotch area and the back area, but you can use a flat machine if that's all you have, using a straight stitch. The shorts didn't originally have pockets, but I thought why not add them? So I'm going to attach a link to a free pockets pattern that you can use to make your own pockets. To attach the pockets, I've pinned them down onto the right side of the back and the front. We are going to serge down the sides, or you can use a straight stitch down the sides to attach them to the shorts. Once this is done, we are going to iron it flat, making sure the seam is nice and flat and the pocket's nice and flat. Flap it out and iron it again. Then we're going to pin the front and back to each other, right sides facing each other. Shout out to my son for helping me record this so you guys can get a good view of how I've done this. But I always like to start with the crotch area, because once that's accurate, we can figure everything else out. So I'm just clipping around the crotch area, along the sides, and then we can take it to our sewing machine. For this section, I used an overlocker for the crotch area, and I used a flat machine to attach the front and back to each other. Once I did this, I used the overlocker to serge the top and bottom of the shorts and ironed it out so it's looking nice and flat. Now all we have to do is add the elastic and hem the shorts. To do the elastic, I just measured a piece of 1 inch elastic around my waist where I wanted it to sit on me, not making it too snug, but snug enough to sit there nicely. And then I enclosed it with a zigzag stitch. Then I marked a quarter of each way of the elastic. This just makes it easier to pin it around the circumference of the waist area on the shorts. Guidelines really help when attaching the elastic to the shorts, because then you just kind of follow the quarter of the way, and then I put another clip in between each quarter. And then I took it to my flat machine and used a zigzag stitch to attach the elastic to the shorts. Once we get to the end, we're going to do a back stitch to secure it in place, and then we're going to move on to closing the elastic or encasing the elastic. Now that we've attached the elastic, we're just going to enclose it, and I do this by folding it over and ironing it and then pinning it in place. And then we take it to our flat machine and do a straight stitch all the way around whilst tugging slightly, and then I hem the bottom and we were done. So this is how it's looking. I do like how it came out. This is not a material that I would have picked up if it was a ready-made item in the shop, but I love how it came out and I think it's perfect for my family trip. Let me know what you think. Will you try copying any items you already own? I really enjoyed this make, so I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you next time.